slide.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kayla Rundle, if you do not know who I am, and today I am going to be back working on my 2013 Camaro SS, and I am finally installing my one-piece carbon fiber drive shaft from QA1. And QA1 is a suspension company, and yes, they do make drive shafts. I have been wanting a one-piece drive shaft for years now, and I'm so happy today is the day I will be installing it in this car. It is rated for up to 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, which is more than enough than I will need because I only make up to 600 foot-pounds of torque on my car as it sits. So there are many reasons that I went with carbon fiber, but one, it is because carbon, of course, is lighter. Two, carbon is actually really strong, and it's strong specifically the way that QA1 does it. QA1 actually found the perfect angles of the carbon fiber, wound it on the drive shaft with 3M resin, which actually makes it give that blue color if you see a photo of the drive shaft. Plus, if there ever is a problem in the future with your drive shaft or something horrible happens, the carbon fiber is actually safer. It actually shatters versus the aluminum stays in one giant piece, and then in turn, it might pop right through your floorboard into you, might damage your transmission, your shifter, and much more. So if the carbon fiber, worst case scenario, fails, you will be much safer than any other drive shaft that you could possibly put in the car. And also, if you're not familiar with rotational weight, the drive shaft is actually rotational mass and weight. Anything that is rotating, it makes a huge difference. So if you're not familiar with this, 1 pound loss of rotational mass is nearly equal to 10 pounds of dead weight. So for every pound you take out of, for example, the carbon fiber, is 10 pounds that I could be taking out of my interior. So my rear seats really only weighed 5 pounds. So by me simply taking off a ½ pound off my drive shaft equals the same amount of weight that my rear seats would if I were to take that out of my car. The best way to describe it is I actually got my car put onto an engine dyno before putting in my new motor, and on the engine dyno it made 753 horsepower. Now when you take that same exact motor, put it in the car, and put the car on the chassis dyno, it only made 605 wheel horsepower. So it's close to a 148 horsepower loss. And this loss is everything between the motor all the way towards the wheels, which is also part of the drive shaft. So I'm losing a lot of power in the rotating mass from the engine to my tire. Decrease the movement that is happening in the drive shaft. It is actually going to create more horsepower that gets put to my wheel, if that makes sense. No, it does not actually add horsepower, but it just adds a horsepower that's being taken away by the bad OEM parts. So then you might be asking, why would I go with large brakes? My car is really a giant game of winning and losses, so I did make the decision to add weight in my brakes, so I have way more stopping power on the track because faded brakes are never good. Like with drag cars, their brakes are only capable of so much, and even in the CUDA, I had to pump them at the end of the drag strip because they could hardly stop in time before I hit the barricades. Anyways, now that I have a lift in my garage, I'm going to get the Camaro put on that lift, and we are gonna go get this QA1 drive shaft installed. Can you take me deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my throne. I don't know how they pry these off so good. They take the whole thing off. Nice. You just don't want it to drop on you because it's kind of heavy.
I don't think it will.
It will. because it's stretching this one out. Okay, so hold this side, and we're gonna have to.
the whole thing right here.
I'm gonna do this, and then we're gonna have to. Too much strain was on it. It's honestly really heavy because it's stock exhaust. And now we're gonna have to come towards you. Coming towards you more. Okay. Rocks. I'm gonna break my wrist, if anything. It's not even stripping it. Alright, I'll probably just hold the left side, I'll hold the right side. Just holding it up. Yay! And so you gotta do all that just to get to the shifter. It's all out. That was the easiest thing ever, having a lift. This is the old one. And the beautiful new one's right over there. And this one's ugly and in 2 pieces, so. But it's beautiful. I just discovered that there was instructions this whole time, but it's so easy to understand that I didn't even really need it. But now I do, just because I know all these bolts are loose. But anyways, we're gonna loosen them and then get this CV flange adapter off and install this adapter onto my car instead of installing the drive shaft altogether. Should be easy. And then we will have to secure it with blue Loctite, which I actually have. Thank goodness for my random purchases. I gotta be very careful with my carbon fiber because I don't want it to break or splinter. This is the prettiest drive shaft I've ever seen. They're cool, they're color coordinated. We gotta match the colors. Yay, I got it off. This is so pretty. It's like billet. We have to apply blue thread locker on these bolts. No, I just put this on here, I guess. Yay. Yeah, so the package only came with 6 bolts and 3 nuts. The 3 nuts go on the front little piece that you do first before you do the rest of the drive shaft. We're not using any stock parts that I took off the car, which is super nice. So I took off everything, took off all the bolts, and then QA1 supplies everything you need. So there's no confusion, because I was confused. Now we gotta tighten these up and torque them. Perfect.
Maybe I'll hold the back.
Yeah.
Okay. Go steady with it, please. Use both hands, I've got this.
Beautiful. That's the way to do it.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I know how much 85 foot-pounds is because I can't do it on my own with them.
Stop. Use both hands.
It's not torquing it because that moves.
It's not moving. The bolt is moving.
There we go. Pretty.
that's not moving at all. It's the bolt tightening. It's the.
See if this thing will fit. I don't know. Put the front in first, I guess.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to match. I'm gonna have to spin it so the yellow's at the bottom. Is it like super far off? Oh yeah. I'm gonna make sure the yellow is. Okay, the yellow's about there. Only problem is this one doesn't move. Oh, it doesn't go.
Knew it. Told you.
For a minute, we thought we would have to disassemble the drive shaft more. We didn't have to take the drive shaft apart at all. For a minute, we thought we had to. In the instructions, it says to do the front first because there is like a yellow line you have to match up. We couldn't get the rear to sit into its place if the front was already in because the rear is like a female and a male, so the male has to slide all the way in, so you have to have a lot more room to get it on. So we ended up putting the rear in first so we wouldn't have to disassemble the drive shaft anymore. And once the rear was in, while having a second person to watch to make sure the front is lined up to the little yellow pen mark that QA1 already had on the drive shaft, the front literally slid in with no issues at all because it's almost nearly a flat surface. So that made it a lot easier. And so now we just have to use the included bolts, which for the back we have left is just these small bolts, and we're gonna put a little bit of blue Loctite on them and secure that. And secure the 6 bolts that QA1 supplied that we originally took off to put on the flange onto the transmission. Put those back in with red Loctite, torque them all down, and that's really it. It's insane. Not expecting it to be this easy.
Well, and you're not underneath a car, like
I
breaking
think
your freaking neck.
having the lift is a game changer for sure. Like, I'm taking a long time because I'm filming this, but relatively this is literally a 5-minute job.
Yeah.
If I had all the tools lined out before I started, 5 minutes, literally. We've run into 0 issues. It's just our experience is minimal, so it takes us longer. I'm gonna go get the Loctite. I think it's over here somewhere, yeah. Okay. It's cool you could literally reach all my fuel. All right, so these have color on them, so just match it where the color is. Feed it through. And then the purple. Put it in here and apply more blue thread locker. I always just do like a quick line. You don't want to do too much. And then match the purple to the purple.
Only.
Sweet. And then I just have to turn it to put thread locker in these ones since I didn't do that earlier. Thanks. Chicken. These guys on the back. Thread locker again. And then these don't even have a bolt on the back. They just go straight in. Beauty. So excited to see how different this drive shaft's going to be. Because I get a lot of clunky noises on this car, and I feel like it's my drive shaft. Because I have the upgraded axles and everything.
Drive shaft engaging. I'm losing slack.
Oh yeah, it's so loud too when you let go of the gas and then put gas back on it. It's like clink, clink every time. So this is gonna be awesome. I'm so happy we didn't have to take that apart. But it didn't say we had to in the instructions, and it worked out. So I think the instructions just confused us because it said to do the front first, which you just have to make sure the front is lined up. You don't have to put it in first. That was the trick. All right, so now we have to torque these down to actually get them tightened in, all 6 to like 47 foot-pounds.
I mean, it's just straight everywhere. It's not like it's... Oh, God. I know.
Stock exhaust, man.
I know. All
Steel.
heavy as steel.
The carbon fiber one-piece drive shaft is finally installed in my Camaro, and I pulled my Camaro off the lift, and I actually took my car for a drive because I saw a lot of comments about people talking about possible vibrations in the drive shaft, and I wanted to clarify that before I ended this video. But I did take it for a drive on the streets and the highway, and I heard 0 vibrations at all. And it was also difficult for me to feel really the increased power. All I can say is that it feels really smooth. It is definitely quieter. I don't hear the clunking like in my stock 2-piece drive shaft. It just rides smooth, and I don't feel any extra vibrations. I don't know if it's after a certain speed, but let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this 1-piece drive shaft, and I will hopefully in the future update you guys on the drive shaft if I ever run into any issues. But this drive shaft should hold up all the power that my car makes. Again, it makes 605 wheel horsepower and 753 on the engine dyno. It feels great and it looks beautiful. I wish everyone else can see it at car shows, but you can only see it when I raise the car, sadly. But if you guys have any questions on how to install this drive shaft or how to get it, all the information will be in the description of this video, and I will answer any questions you guys have in the comments down below of this video. And thank you, QA1, for sponsoring the drive shaft, and I'm so excited to be a part of the QA1 team. I hope you have an amazing day or night, whatever time it is, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.